So for the first part, can you please explain a little bit about yourself for those who know who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Hannah Kato. I am an actor based out of the Chicago area, and I play Janice and others on the Come From Away tour.
That's awesome. And so being on tour, what has been your favorite stop on tour and why?
Oh, that's a great question. I have loved so many of them. I think one of my favorites was Halifax, Nova Scotia. I had never been to that part of Canada before, and it was really cool just to be so close to like the water because it's right on the ocean. And it's just a really, really beautiful area.
That's awesome. And so this question actually pertains to the show. Why do you think the story of Come From Away is so important nowadays?
Oof. I think that's also a great question. I think it's a great story for today because it is just so relevant. I think something that's been really cool to see with performing the show, even over the last like 6 months, has been how different parts of the show become even more like resonant with what's kind of happening in society or in world events at the moment. So it's something that I feel like is always relevant, and the message of just kindness and caring for one another is also something that is just timeless and is good to hear at any time.
Yeah, that's great. And so what was the audition process like for Come From Away?
Yeah, so I auditioned back, it's coming up on a year actually. I towards the end of April of 2023, I sent in my first tape. It was actually kind of funny because I saw the posting on Playbill like I think a month before that, and I was kind of like, I don't think I'm right for it, so I didn't submit. But my agent sent me the audition then for Janice about a month later. And so I was like, okay, well, this will be fun, and submitted my tape, not expecting to hear anything. And then I found out I got a call back, which was really fun. And it was about a couple rounds of callbacks, all done virtually. And then it kind of culminated in a Zoom call with the creatives as the final audition. Um, and yeah, and then I found out a couple days later after that final callback that I got the job, which was really exciting.
Yeah, that's great. And so what was the rehearsal process like? How long did you have for rehearsals?
Yeah, so we were in New York for about a month. It was really, really fun. We were downtown in New York City, which it just fulfilled so many childhood dreams of rehearsing in New York City with a Broadway show. And it was just a lot of fun. The days were long and intense because the show is really very, very detailed. It's the most detailed show I've ever worked on and the most precise. So it definitely, those were intense days, but I look back on it now and like it's just, those were some of my favorite days of tour.
Yeah, and so what made you want to become an actress?
Yeah. So when I think I knew I wanted to be an actress when I was about 8 years old. I had kind of started doing plays and stuff like in my church and kind of singing in my church, and then started to get involved in a community theater. And it was really after like my first show I did when I was 11, I believe, that I was like, okay, I want to become an actress. And I kind of just kept doing it through high school. And when I kind of came time for me to pick what I wanted to major in college, I was kind of like, I don't know, like, theater's really hard. Like, I don't know if I should do this. And I just remember my mom being like, well, do you like doing anything else as much as you like doing theater? And I was like, well, no. So kind of the rest is history. I majored in theater, which was great. And very, very thankful that, things have been working out so far. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, and so you play a couple characters throughout the show. And so what are some of your favorite lines in the show and why?
Yeah. I love Janice. Janice has a lot of lines that are my favorite. I love her heart and um just the way that she's very others focused, which I really love, and she's always doing something and trying to help other people. I would say my favorite line in the show though comes from Brittany, is her name. She's the Walmart girl, so it's the thank you for shopping at Walmart, would you like to come back to my house for a shower? That line is definitely my favorite.
That's great. And so if you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
I would say trust and keep working hard and trust the process. I think growing up, I was very much um, worried about, okay, like I don't know how this theater thing is going to work out, and especially being um, I'm half Asian, so I'm mixed, and that was something I definitely worried about because growing up I didn't have a lot of performers who looked like me on stage, so I was very concerned with just working, doing my best so that I could make my dreams come true. Um, but I think I would also tell my younger self to enjoy the moment and the present, just because I think it's all about balance, having to work hard, but also making sure that you're not missing out on things that are happening and just as important, if not more important, in your life than your career. So,
That's awesome. And so this next question ties in with the last one. What advice would you give to younger people who want to become actors or actresses?
hmm, I would say what is meant for you will not pass you by. That's something I know, like sometimes I think a bunch of actors throw that around now. But it is one of my favorite phrases because it is like, I even just, like I touched on earlier, like I look at my audition process for this show and it's like, there were a lot of things that, I was like, I don't think I'm right for it. And then, going in for it, it's like there were still like mistakes I made in my audition, but um, if you're right for the role, um, then there's not going to be anything that'll stop you from getting it. And, you know, yeah, I think it's just as long as you're working hard and you're being kind to people, then you're going to succeed in whatever you do.
Yeah, and so with Come From Away, a show that doesn't have an intermission.
Yes.
So what is the hardest part of Come From Away since it doesn't have an intermission?
I know you talked to Andrew and I think maybe a couple others who probably, I don't know if you asked them the same question, but they would say this too, I think. We describe Come From Away as almost being on like a train that you get on and you don't stop until the end of the show. And you just kind of ride the ride. I'm really thankful though because this cast is just wonderful, and it's the most fun I've ever had on stage in a show, and I have never trusted a cast and a company as much as I have this one. So that makes the like hour 40, no intermission, no breaks really, very fun, which I'm very thankful for. And it doesn't feel, I think, as difficult um, as it probably would have been.
Yeah, that's great. And so that wraps up the question portion. And so I've done this with everyone I've interviewed from Come From Away. I have the script right here. And so I'm gonna give you a little quiz on your lines.
Oh, okay, I'm ready.
So the first one is towards the beginning of the show. Um, you say, uh, anybody knows in business that when you set down a gander, it's for an emergency. Now we don't know what's going on, but the captain tells us to keep everyone panicking.
Tray tables up, please. We will be dimming the lights in the cabin. Pushing the light bulb button will turn your reading light on. However, pushing the flight attendant button will not turn your flight attendant on.
That is correct. And so this next one is one that almost stumps Andrew. What are the three movies they play on the airplane?
They play Legally Blonde, Dr. Dolittle 2, and Titanic.
Yep. He was almost stumped on Legally Blonde too. Or
Aw.
Legally Blonde. And then this one is it's during 38 planes. Beverly says it looks like everybody in Newfoundland is here.
Everybody in Newfoundland is here. Is this the Oh, it is so hard out of context. I was literally thinking, I was like, okay, I've got two. I was like, I can't mess up now. Okay, wait. Looks like everybody, oh, one plane, then another, and then another, because then the song starts, right? That's the part. Yep. Okay.
And so what is your line during that part?
Oh, is this on? Sorry, I'm new. This is Rogers TV, Channel 9. My name is Janice Mosier, and I'm reporting live from Gander Airport, where the 19th plane has just touched down.
And
And then
so
I
it's crazy because you have a lot of like not only the darker lines, but you have a lot of like the like more serious lines since you're with the news. So like you're reporting on like the darker topics.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting like thing in rehearsal too though, because it was like I had to turn my brain in a way that I hadn't before, where I was like, okay, it's it's still theater, we're acting and all of that, but I think almost turning my brain and being like, oh, but I'm reporting the news right now. And so it's like thinking more in the mindset, not as much of like an actor, but a news reporter. And that was definitely a switch for me.
Yeah, I mean, uh, throughout the show, there's a lot of like, it's definitely like a different show since it's based on a true story. So you're really telling like a real thing that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, this one is, Beulah says, so I'm back to shoppers to pick up as many ta pads and tampons as they have.
So the Baptist Church needs a hand moving their pews. Dr. O'Brien down at the pharmacy is ready to fill any prescription. And the Lions Club is looking for some toilet paper if you have any extra.
That is correct.
I'm thankful I know my lines. This is great.
And so this next one is, where was it? It was, oh, uh, so it is during uh the what scene is this? It's still in the airplane. Um, Bob says, on a plane we ask the flight attendants.
But the captain says not to say too much, and that's when rumors start flying.
Yes. Uh, and so this character doesn't have a name, but it says passenger one. And now he's on a bus.
I try to interview the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, but they've got more important things to do than talk to me. And that's when I see them, the plane people, through the bus windows. the ter the oh my gosh. And that's when I see them through the bus windows, the terrified looks on their face. They have no idea where they're going.
That is correct. And so have you been to Gander before?
I have not yet. I am very much hoping to go. The closest we got was Halifax. It's like you literally, I remember looking at a map and being like, we are so close. Um, but no, I haven't made it there yet.
Have you met any of the original people?
Yes. So I have not met Janice Godey and Brian Mosier. They both are the amalgamation that make up Janice, but we have had the pleasure of meeting Diane Davis came, as well as Durham, the mayor of Appleton, and his wife came as well. Her name is also Diane. Um, I am trying to remember. I feel like I know off the top of my head those are a couple that we met. I think there may have been one or two others that I'm just spacing on right now.
So
Yeah.
the tour hasn't actually gone to Gander yet.
No, no, we have not. I don't think we're going to because they actually have a production opening next summer in Gander or
Oh,
this summer now. But yeah.
that's awesome. And so this one is during Darkness and Trees. Uh, into the airport.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you can take only your carry-on items. Check luggage will remain in the hold.
Yes. And then this one is about halfway through. Uh, Nick says, "No, no, I just thought someone should know."
3:45 a.m. Overnight, the community's population has gone from 9,000 to seven. Oh my gosh, 9,000 to 16,000. I'm sure barely any of us have slept tonight. We're hopeful that our visitors will be back in the air come morning. I'm gonna forget that number one day, I guarantee you.
And so this one is during it's during it's during right after costume party.
Hmm.
Uh Everyone except Janice, Kevin T, Kevin J, Hannah, and Diane sing There and Here.
By the middle of the day on Wednesday, I'm coordinating menus for 7,000 people. And then it goes into a nice long monologue about that.
And then this one is almost towards the end of the show. Uh, so it's right after, I don't know how this, it's like when everyone's arguing. So Roger's TV girl doesn't know what she's doing until further
Mm.
notice. And then Claude says, hold on. Did you say hockey's canceled?
3:47 p.m. The town is asking all bulk food deliveries be taken to the Gander Community Center hockey rink.
Did it take you a while to learn all your lines since you have a lot of bulky monologues?
Yeah, I'm very thankful. I it didn't take me too long. I think it took me a while to get comfortable with it for sure, because the pace of the show just moves very quickly. But I will say what did take me a hot minute was the times, because if you notice, Janice has a lot of timestamps and like they're all just kind of random, or not random. Like, I mean, it coordinates, to where we are in the day, but it's like for my actor brain, it felt random. And so I ended up making like a visual timeline. Like I had to like break up, okay, this is, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, here's the day, here's the line, like, and the time and all of that. So,
And it doesn't help that the times aren't like 1:30, 2 o'clock. It's just like
no, no,
like random times, like 1:34, 2:15.
3:47, like all these like random, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so this one, Beverly answers the phone and says, "Hello, I'm on my way."
1:34 a.m. September 14th, shelters will be alerted.
Yes. And so that wraps up all of the questions. And so I'd like to thank you for joining me. And then once I'm done editing, I'll send the link to you. You can share it and do whatever.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Timothy. It was so nice to meet you, and thanks for having me.
Of course, I'll see you on April 3rd.
Sounds good. All right, we'll see ya.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.